Alright, you can see right here, got the forge almost built. Does not have burner on it yet. We have the anvil mounted, ready to go. Got my heater over there getting this warmed up. I was planning on doing a ribbon burner. This is a ribbon burner I got. As I was testing it, as I mentioned several times, I'm not a great welder. This weld right here was leaking with the back pressure. It ignited on there. I don't want to deal with having to try to get this in here. There's several spots here where the weld does not look like it's perfectly sealed. I thought I had a good enough depth because I just kept putting metal and metal on there that I did get a seal. Obviously I didn't. So I wanted to take that away. And what I'm going with is this for the burner. So I've got my quarter turn ball valve to shut off. I've got my pressure regulator down there so I can control the flow of the gas. Just brass pipe coming up, elbow to come down. This is a tip that came with a brush burner that I got. It had 3 separate tips. This one's going to work perfectly. What I did with the forge, I went ahead, poured castable to give me the top, to give me the hard surface for withstanding the heat. And then I did the castable on either side. Of course, you remember I've got the kale wool going around the sides here, so that should provide, between everything, enough insulation to be able to keep it warm. Now the issue I run into is, in order for this burner to work, it needs to actually sit right here. Otherwise it doesn't get the airflow that it needs, it doesn't get the jet. At this height also, the tip of the jet point is hitting on the bottom of the forge, so that gives me the ideal heat on there. Now in order to do that, I love repurposing something. If you make something and you find out it isn't going to work, there was a forge that I was working on building out of soft brick, and those just did not hold up to the temperature long term. They'd crack too easily with how I was trying to run it. So I don't know what I was doing wrong. So what I've done is taken this. This will of course fit right here at the exact right height that I need for this. So I'm going to be doing, notching out this so I have a spot for the burner to come down and sit in. Then in the middle I'm going to put holes over here so that I can take and put a hose clamp on it to hold it in place. And then these right here are going to go ahead and get ground out so that I can take and weld this onto this once I have this in position where I need it. It's actually a really snug fit, so I'll be good as far as that goes. So that's where we're at. That's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to go ahead and start off, as always, clamping this piece down in my vise, and then I will go ahead, get a grinding or a flat disc on my grinding, 4.5 inch grinding, and we'll go to town on this piece. Get the grinding. Okay, so reason I ground these insides is because I'm wanting to taper it a little bit, so it'll give me a little bit better hold when I go on there. I'm actually going to be tapping it down with a hammer because it is going to give a tight friction fit, and then I'm just actually welding it as a means of permanently affixing it, but it does get a pretty nice tight fit just with the friction on there. Now, this is one of those times when you're doing this type of operations that if you can afford financially to have 2 to 3 grinders, I'd recommend it, because it'd be nice if I could just have one grinder where all it has is grinding disc on it. Now where the grinding disc out, I replace it with another grinding disc. I have another one where all it does is have a cutting disc. That way you can have your 3 tools out. All it is either unplugging one, plugging the other one in, or possibly if you've got the outlet capability, having all of them plugged in, because that's going to save you a heck of a lot of time. Now, as mentioned, one thing I always do, I keep the guards on. A lot of people take the guards off. It's friggin' a knucklehead thing to do. Personally, not just because of the flying disc, but the fact that it makes it really easy when you set it down to put undue stress on here. The guard gives something for your grinder to rest on, so you're not going to be putting stress into your grinding wheels. You're not going to be having them bust apart on you, so you don't need the guard to protect you from that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Sometimes the guards might seem like they just get in the way, but really, it's going to be the best thing for you to do on there. Again, I got my face shield on. I've already marked out the area right here. These are my soapstone markers that I got just a little bit ago to do this, because I like those a lot better than the tape marker I got at first. So I'm going to cut this slit out, and then I'm going to cut a slit down in here towards the back to give me a spot to put a hose clamp.
had to pause it for a second. I thought I heard my daughter at my door. Now I've got this piece cut here through most of the way. I'm just going to take my chisel, pop that out. Got a good slit running along that length. Just cut chisels a little bit. Yep. A little bit big for this. And what I'm going to do actually now, change out to an actual grinding wheel. Use that to smooth that out. Come back over this. Even though I'm not going to be having a hose or anything touching that, I want to grind over that. I'm going to smooth this out also. Just in general, the points. I'll knock this back a little bit with my grinding wheel too. Just so that I'm not having to worry about cutting myself so much on there. Just make it a little bit safer in there. The reason I'm doing this all with the grinding wheel and not the flat disc, because the flat disc would work with what I'm wanting with knocking off the edge. But because I have to grind out this metal right here to make sure I've got that good slit, and I don't want to have to deal with that, you know, how long it would take me to grind metal out with a flat disc. That's why I'm not doing that. But by using the grinding disc on this, it'll take everything off a lot quicker. I'll probably touch up these welds here too.
There we go. Done with the grinder. Ready for this to get put into place and to show you guys how this is all going to work out. And one of the things that we'll be doing here and this is a good habit to always get into is when you're done with your tools, put them away. If you don't, when you come back out there, you're going to have a rough time working on it. Let's take this camera, twist it up, and turn it over a little bit. Okay. So this is my forge, my working space. These are the two bricks that I have, one to go in the back to shut it off, one to go in the front. This is a piece of metal. It's just for playing around with, seeing if forge is getting hot. This will come right here. Obviously it's not sitting right now. What I'm going to be doing is set. The friction will actually hold it into place, but now I have to see if I've actually got it right, and what I need to do with continuing it on. Now this burn, of course, because of okay. Alright, so I've got in the general position that I need that in. So again, I'm going to be welding. Again, I did not record welding because I do not trust my camera to be able to survive it. I don't know enough to be able to know what I need to do to be able to weld and not destroy my camera. I realize that my camera is an older one, probably not taking the best videos, but it is what I have. And since it is what I have, I do not want to lose it. So you realize I keep my welding mask opposite side of the shop from where I'm doing my workings because I'm doing the grinding over here, and I do not want a bunch of the dust from the grinding on it because I used to keep it over here. So bring this on. Okay, now it's time to move that closer. So now it's time to stop the recording and be back in a sec. Okay, so got this welded on. Said just did a simple weld. Now when it comes to putting on your hose clamps, there's some things you always want to keep in mind. First off, I'm going to be putting this on a flat surface. This right here has a curve to it because they're made to go on a round surface. So I'm just going to take and preempt that by flattening that curve out, so that'll make that a little bit easier. Second, you want to make sure you're positioning your screw where you can get at it easy, and Also where you're going to be taking your hose clamp, running it through and feeding it. Remember, your hose is going to feed back at you. Go get your hairbrush drilled with Emily. That's my daughter. So, going through here, getting this set up. And I want the hose clamp on the bottom to have the bulk of that more out of the way. Get it through there. Come in. On that. Get that in here. Now this is the part of the hose clamps that's always annoying. It's awesome when you have a drill with the right bit for it so that you can just power through all this. But make sure as you're doing this that you're keeping thing where you're unfortunately with this, because I have the slit right there that I had to take the hose clamp off for. I have to worry about that going through. Here's one thing to remember when you're dealing with the hose clamp is that this strip of metal, because it's got all those little notches in there for your screw, has that capability to actually be fairly easy to break or to damage on accident. So on that, so now I've got this. This is in place. That's not moving anywhere anytime soon. Now, the other thing to keep whenever you're dealing with the hose clamp. Now I don't want that great big old long piece, so I'm going to take my tin snips across here, get them as close as I can. I'm going to look at one of those notches, try to cut into one of those notches, and just come across the other side. Cut the other one. There we go. And now I got to turn on the other device here. So, we have this set up, ready to run. Get that into its position. Go ahead, turn this on. Now this is the other benefit of having the heater. Well, I realize this torch is supposed to have an electric start. That's actually stopped working. So come over here, put that in there. There we go. You hear that burner going? It's not going really well or hot right now because my pressure is turned down. It's at a 5. Let's turn it up here a little bit. Okay, right there I'm running it at a 10. There's a little bit of stuff that's in the forge on there. It's already starting to heat up red. forging, some of that's all personal preference. You see some people bare-hand at both hands because they want a feel of everything going on. I see other people that are always wearing gloves. So this is a piece of scrap bed rail that I started working to on flattening it out. Go ahead, put that in there right now. I don't trust my skill level. blade I got forever ago. And I was going to try to drill the holes and make it work because this was a clearance lawnmower blade. Obviously that did not work because that sticker never came off. The blade's obviously never been used. I'm going to see if I flatten that out and actually make a knife out of it. Because these lawnmower blades, new lawnmower blades, fairly easy to come by. Sometimes you can find them on clearance at your local Home Depot or Lowe's or other hardware type suppliers. So, something that's fairly easy for anybody to get. Benefit of having these fire rates here is that gives me something instead of hot piece of metal on if I'm needing to manipulate it for whatever reason. Now what I'm going to do with this is because on the back I don't want a hard 90 on there. I want something that's going to have room for contracting on that, just a little piece. So I folded the lip up on this side a little bit, heating it up. I'm going to fold the lip up on the other side. I'm going to trim off, weld it on the back side, and then I'll have my part for containing and holding my brake on the back door. I'll then repeat the process and do the same thing for the front. So, we're good. We got work towards. You're looking good. Now, what we want to do, placing this, try to get that in the center of it because we want to get that heat out off as evenly as possible. Having that edge covered up and turn that way. Alright, there we go. Got it. You cut here, cut here. Weld these on the back side, that'll hold the brake in. Now, bring it back into the board. I'm going to try to get both these heated up. Now at this point in time, I'm actually going to forge it here. You go ahead, shut this down. Now when I turn it on, I want to turn it on at about a 5 and then ramp it up. And we can tell that it was not burning cleany, and we have got our parts per million well up over 600. So that's the other thing you want to make sure of when you're burning your forge, that you're burning it clean, getting a good one on there. But hey, we're forging! So that'll just be there to remind me, say, hey, you've got stuff screwed up. So, alright, till next time, you guys have a great day.